Hello friends, this is Cara-Renee with B.Reborn Art and Healing, coming to you with a little bit of a different video. I have mentioned on my channel before that my first love is watercolor, my second love is mixed media, and then my third is junk journaling. What I'm learning is that I can incorporate all of those elements into my journal making journey. So I wanted to show you a technique that I used to do a lot with watercolor, and I'm going to try it today with some other items, some infusion stains. They're a powder, and also the color burst powders. I have had these forever and a day, and I don't know that I've used them much at all. Normally I do them with watercolor, professional grade watercolor, and I've also done them with watercolor. I've done them with another, what are those called? Brush-O powders. I've done them with Brush-O powders. I'm not going to do that today. But basically what you do is you create your background on watercolor paper. It doesn't have to be expensive watercolor paper. I'm using Wind Power, which is now discontinued. I can't get it anywhere. It's one of my favorite kind of low-cost watercolor papers. But these are some of the things that I've created using the powders and Saran wrap. So that is one, and these are just in my card backing baskets over there, where I just pull these to make cards out of. But look at that. I just love the speckles. I think these were the Brush-O powders. We might grab those too. We may try 3 different things. This is really wild and crazy. That's a little bit off the charts for me, but I love the effect. And then this one. So we're going to do that and create just some papers to make other, to make ephemera out of. So I'm going to grab the Brush-Os really quick too, you guys, okay? I just want to be able to have a like for like in terms of what I just showed you. So I think we'll try 3 different ones. We'll use the Brush-Os, the infusions, and then the color burst, the infusions, and the Brush-O powders. So the first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set some stuff aside over here so I have a clean space to work with. I'm going to get out some freezer paper, and I probably could have done this before I started, but I didn't, because I want a paper to put these on over to my left. Sorry about that sound. And I also need some underneath my work surface. So I'm just going to shift this stuff. Forgive me for not being more prepared. I should have done this before, but that's just the way it is right now. The summer is just about over, so I'm just really milking my days for crafting as much as I possibly can, because I'm gonna go back to work and I'm sad about it. I mean, I'm glad because I can't stay home forever like I am. I struggle. I love the freedom, but I struggle with the lack of schedule. I'm a very scheduled person. So the first thing that we're going to do, I'm going to pull these back over here just so that we have them within reach. And I'm going to do one piece of paper at a time and sample each product. So I have some painter's tape. This is what I use mostly for watercolor if I need to tape down a piece of watercolor paper to paint on. It's cheaper than the artist white tape, so it works just fine. But what I want to do this for is I want to be able to have this paper stay flat or flat-ish. Probably won't be completely successful, but it's nice to not have it kind of bow and stuff, because when it gets very, very wet, it wants to do that. So I'm just going to tape the edges, and we'll do this as we go with each technique. Well, each product rather, not technique. Same technique, different product. So there we go. We'll get one more on the other edge. And then what we'll do, these obviously will take many hours to dry, so I will restart the video. I'll end the video when we're done, let these dry. I'll come back with the next segment and show you what they look like. So let's start with the Brush-Os. So I have orange, I have ultramarine blue, which is a gorgeous color. We've got a leaf green. That might be pretty. I'm thinking about junk journal colors that I would use for decorating a junk journal. Turquoise is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. That's scarlet. I'm not so much for the reds. Gamboge is a beautiful color in this technique. This is yellow, and I have these pins in here because that's how I can sprinkle them out without dumping them all on my surface. Black, we don't want black. Emerald green, I'm not a fan of emerald green. Crimson is okay, but I'm not looking for that in this case. Lemon might be okay. Purple, I'm iffy on the purple. Brilliant red, I've used these, but oh, Prussian blue is a gorgeous color. Dark brown. I think I want to do turquoise and dark brown, definitely. So I don't want to put a ton of colors on here because if they are not color friends on the color wheel, they're going to make mud. And what I mean by color friends is that anything that's next to each other on the color wheel, they play well together. If they're opposite on the color wheel, they will create a muddy color. They'll create like red and green make brown, purple and yellow make brown. So you want to kind of avoid that. So I'm going to pick, shall we do, I think I want to go ahead and do, ultramarine is such a great color. I'm trying to think again of colors that go well for junk journaling. I think we'll use the brush O colors. We'll use the brown and the turquoise kind of combination. So let's do gamboge and ultramarine blue. So I'm going to go ahead and just open these up. I would recommend that you keep these closed if you have them, because if they spill out, it is a disaster. And I'm sorry for the focus, guys. The camera doesn't like the white. So let's put that marker there until I'm prepared. And so I've got my water bottle here, and I'm going to go ahead and just squirt my paper here. You want to get it pretty wet so that this pigment really moves. I'm going to start, I always start with the lighter color. Gamboge is a really rich yellow, almost an orange yellow. So I'm just going to sprinkle this on the surface here. And yellow and blue make green, so we're going to get some great combinations here. And what I love about this product is that if you don't mess with it, you're going to get those speckles like I showed you here. So not that one, that's not a good example of it. These speckles here, if you don't fuss around and move the powder around a lot, you will get that. So we're going to try the ultramarine too. It looks like I need a little bit more water, so we will take care of that. Oh, that's really pretty. Ooh. So I have my sights set on future journals, which is kind of why I was thinking about doing this process anyway. So I'm going to spritz a little bit more. Oh, we're getting some purple. Look at that. We might want to tone this down a little bit with something. Isn't that gorgeous? Wow. Really bright. Woo! Let's get some more yellow in that. That's going to help it to mute it out a little bit as well. So I do need more water because we don't want it to be completely speckles. You know what I mean? So we've got some great speckling in here, which is really beautiful. So we'll leave that. Yeah, I do want to take full advantage of the edges here. And I neglected to think how I was going to move this when and not have all the colors run, because yeah, it's going to be kind of crazy. So now we're going to go ahead. I'm going to move this stuff out of the way a little bit, and I'm going to get my Saran wrap. I like the one that's got the cutter on it, especially for this purpose. You do not want to be fiddling with this. You want to be able to just get your Saran wrap out. And I'm going to move over here so that I'm not over my table. And you want a piece that's bigger than your surface because we are going to be crinkling it up. And for those of you who have done this, you know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to lay it down here, and then I'm going to crinkle it. I'm going to push it around and get these cracks. And guys, you can do this with any kind of product. You could do this with watered down acrylics. You could do this with watercolors. You could do this with distress sprays. You could do this with If you have any of the the dilution sprays, or even distress oxides. I don't like oxides. I'm not a big fan of the distress oxides, but distress inks, if you had those in a refill, you could do that. So look at what we're getting here. I hope you guys can see that. I'm going to lower the camera just a little bit. Look at that. And what I love about it is it's got this kind of stained glass effect, which I think is just really, really beautiful. So I want to make sure that we have lots and lots of kind of that stained glass feel to it. And because we sopped a lot of that up with the Saran wrap, we might be okay to move this. So wish me luck, because I'm going to pick this up and move it. Got some bubbles there. I don't like that, because it's not going to really create that that stained glass. But we've got a lot of stained glass going on. If you don't want that cracked look, you don't have to do that. You could kind of just gently scrunch it a little bit just to get a more subtle effect there. So I'm gonna try to pull this up. Oh man, it's gonna stick to my paper. Okay, well, plan B. So I'm just gonna move these off, and I'm gonna move this whole piece of paper, which is what I should have done in the first place. You guys were probably saying that, weren't you? So I'm going to move this whole piece over here, and that way I can just kind of stack them on each other too. So that's going to be amazing. So let me get my one I just threw on the floor back out. You do want to protect your work surface, because these are very messy, and you don't want to spray hard because they will go everywhere. I'm telling you, it is a disaster. They are very messy. So let's get our second piece of paper out here. And with this, I think this is like a 9 by 12 piece of paper. So you can get quite a bit of stuff out of this. You can get a couple of tags. You could get, you know, you get some pockets. I was always making them for card bases that in my watercolor journey, but I haven't done this in a while. So it's kind of fun to play again. I'm in a little bit of a funk. I've been mentioning in other videos that, I mean, I'm working on various projects and I have lots of ideas pinging around, but I think the reality is I'm ready to go back to work. I'm ready to get back to my life. I'm ready to be gone all day, come home. I have a short day. I only work 6.5 hours at school, so I can come home, I get dinner going, and I just feel like I'm a more productive human being when I'm not on summer break. So there we go. So let's go ahead and try the other products. I want to go ahead and cap these so that we don't have a spill. I'm just going to slide those over out of my way. And I think I want to try the color bursts. I have not tried them I have not tried that product in this technique. So we've got turquoise. I want to use turquoise, and oh, the yellow ochre would also be pretty there. These are very messy from what I understand. And then sepia, I think is what I want. But these colors, these are so, and they last forever, guys. So if you could make the investment, I would strongly recommend it, because these are so versatile. So versatile. Oh, I want the sepia. Goodness gracious, Cara-Renee. And you could mix these products too. They don't have to stay kind of in their family. So again, we're going to start by spritzing this with water. I'm going to be a little bit more generous and see what happens here. We've got a little bit of a, this is the thing, is that is probably from the other stuff. I don't know where it comes from, but you're looking around and you're like, oh my goodness, how did I come up with that color on my paintbrush that's, 3 feet away? It's crazy. So we're going to just sprinkle some of this color burst. The color burst goes a long way. They're a very similar product to each other in terms of the brushes and the, look at this green that we're getting. Isn't that fascinating? And there's no, I mean, this is yellow ochre. It's not green. Okay, there we go. It's kind of got a yellow look to it. I'm going to spray this a little bit more. See if we can get that moving. Look at that turquoise. Isn't that funny? You can come in over and over with other colors. So I'm going to go in with the turquoise. Again, this is Color Burst from, who are these from? I got them off of scrapbooking.com. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Woo! Rogue color there. We're getting some pretty dark stuff going on here, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and spritz this again and just get some of that moving. The other thing you could do is I'm going to reach over, well, I'm going to get up and go and get a pipette. Oh, maybe I have some. Oh, I have some in my little glove basket. So let's see if we can get this to move a little bit. Oh, actually, let me get my puffer. Hold on. I use this primarily for alcohol ink work, but I think it would work for this, just to kind of get some of that to move a little bit. And then you get kind of these fingers of color. It's very concentrated in this area, which is pretty intense. Just going to try to get that to move a little bit more. And then we're going to come in with the brown as well. Oh, this is gorgeous. I love the speckles that we're getting there. So I'm just going to kind of blow out so that we get maximum use of this paper. Oh, what fun. I can't believe I didn't do this early. I've been thinking about it for a long time. And I get in moods where mixed media, getting messy is like my happy place. Look at that. Look at this green that we're getting, this really kind of a neutral nature green. I'm going to soften this up on this edge so I don't go over. I don't have a mess here. So that's something you can do also, is if it gets out of control, you can just set your paper towel and it'll just kind of suck that up a little bit. Just a bit. Okay, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? I think I want a little bit of the more of the yellow too. Just a little bit. Get some more speckles in here. And again, the color bursts are very, very, very vibrant and very powerful, so that doesn't take a lot. I'm probably using a lot. It probably seems like it, but look at that. Oh, scrumptious. This is meeting my mixed media need. So now we're going to go in with the sepia, which is a dark brown, I think. I'm hoping that it's not like a burnt sienna reddish. I think it is tending to be more of a red color, but we'll work with it. On the red side, rather. Let's see what we can get here. We're gonna, we got a flood over here. So I would encourage you to keep a paper towel handy. We got a lot of liquid on this surface, so whoops. Goodness gracious. Okay, so now we're gonna spray again. I don't want that brown necessarily to all sit in kind of that sprinkled form. A lot of water, a ton of water here. But look at that. I mean, that is just absolutely gorgeous. I'm gonna, again, kind of blow so I can get all this white covered. I hope you guys can see that. I'm very intensely working on this. My eyes are on the project here. Look at that. Oh, I adore this. You could also come in with a brush and kind of move it around a little bit if you want to control it. And get around these edges and get all that white covered up. You can definitely do that. Didn't think about that until I got the brush out, but then didn't think about it. I like the white when it shines through though. If that happens, it's really beautiful. So, oh my goodness, this is gorgeous. Do we need more brown? I don't know. I feel like we've got way too much color going on, or water going on here, so I'm just gonna use my paper towel and see if I can get some of that up. There we go. It's really beautiful. So let's go ahead and get our saran wrap out for this piece. And I will set these colors aside. Let me do that really quick before I move on. We had the gamboge and the ultramarine on the other one, right? So, Saran wrap. Oh, that's the freezer paper, Cara-Renee. Saran wrap is here. Oh, it went inside. Oh man, I wasn't paying attention. I get so excited, you know. So again, you're going to want a bigger piece than your paper because you want to have the freedom to scrunch that however or as little as you want to. And it does dry lighter, so just so you know, if you're going, oh my goodness, what are you doing? Why would you want this much color and this dark of color? It does dry lighter. Oh, we didn't get, got stuck on my water bottle there. So this one I'm not going to do the cracks as much. I'm going to kind of let that be a little bit different, like so. Look at that, so beautiful. Oh, I just love this one. I love the turquoise and the brown together. I almost wish I did a little bit more brown, but once you do this, you really don't want to move this Saran wrap, because then what's going to happen underneath is your paper, your colors are just gonna, they're not going to be distinguished anymore. They're going to kind of run together and be blobby. So I'm going to move this one. I'm just going to set it on top of the other one. And we're going to do our last one using the infusions. And the infusion powders are quite different because they have, excuse me, they have a brown base. So they have, like they all have kind of that sepia tone that it exists in every color, I guess is what I'm trying to say, and not very well. So we're going to put this paper down and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to tape it off. And again, that just keeps it from bowing. My papers are laying completely flat. So it definitely is advisable, because otherwise what's going to happen is if your paper starts to bow, all the colors are going to run out of the middle and to the edges. So you don't really want that in this case. So let's just get that in there. And I mean, you do lose a little bit of the paper. It's going to create kind of a border around it, but that doesn't matter. And this is not a super heavyweight watercolor paper, so it's not going to be too bulky, in my opinion, to get junk journal ephemera out of it, backgrounds and things, bases for a variety of things. So I am trying to, oh, this is, I bet that fuchsia is gorgeous in the color bursts. So we've got in the navy, I'm trying to remember, slate blue. These are really odd. Green man, raspberry, Rocky Road is one of my favorites. I know that. And this slime I think is pretty good. And then terracotta. Oh, it's been a while. It's been a while since I've done them. So let's see. Let's do slate blue and terracotta to start with. Again, it's been forever since I've tried these. The last time I used them, I did it with 2 of my grandkids, and my granddaughter absolutely loved the process. My grandson at the time didn't like it because it was really out of control. Like, it didn't give him the expected results, and he was not happy. He was not happy at all. He was much younger then. He's now 13 and probably would handle it better. But so we're going to start with the slate blue. And again, I've got push pins in the top because these are extremely messy. So I'm just going to, oh, that's beautiful. If I remember right, this one has more of those speckles and more variation because it has a brown undertone in every color. So this will be probably, it might be similar to what we've already done. I don't know. But I wanted to kind of see how each of them would behave as well. So that we are getting a similar look here. So I'm going to go in with the slime as well. And strange names, huh? These infusion powders are hard to find though. They're from, where are they from? I can't remember. I've had them for forever. Okay, so let's just start with that. And I'm going to go ahead and spray some more. Oh, look at that. Pretty bold, isn't it? May not be your cup of tea. So you can see we were getting colors in here that we didn't expect. So there's some pink and some, well, the green that we're seeing is the slime. I think it's going to be beautiful. This is a much more neutral. In fact, I think I want to go in with more of the slime, and I don't want as many of those little speckles because it kind of can look weird too. But I also want that, whatever I'm getting, whatever the brown is that I'm getting, I think I want more of that. Oh, there we go. Ooh, more water on the surface might be the key to this one. Much more neutral. And I'm going to get my brush here really quick. I'm going to blot it off so I don't get a bunch of turquoise and stuff in it, in this thing. So that's what I'm getting, that green. And I'm just going to try to kind of move this around a little bit because I'm feeling like I don't want all those speckles. This one's very, very dark. It will dry lighter, as I mentioned. So you don't have to be concerned about that. I mean, some speckles are nice. We're getting a lot of bowing over here. So I'm going to go ahead and try to sop up some of this because it's running in this direction, which is not a problem, but I don't want it to be too much. So, oh, this is gorgeous. Much more on the dark side, grungy side. You could also just tear this up and use it in clusters or whatever, anything that you want to kind of add that element of a vintage grunge look. So I'm going to go in with the slime again. See if we can get a little bit more green. I'm going to have to spray it again though, because that's what activates it is the water. Feels like this is plugged up. Guess we'll find out. Okay, so here we go. A little bit more green. Yep. It's not really a true green, so none of these colors are like what you would expect. So I'm going to go ahead and blow this a little bit too and see if we can get some movement, some of that color. And then we will be done. I will take pictures of these right now and put them at the end of the video, and then I'll come back when these are dry and we'll move on, and we'll pull the Saran wrap off and we'll have a good old time enjoying our little making here. It looks really dark, doesn't it? It's looking darker on camera than it is in person. So I'm just going to tap this where that water is pooling, just so that we don't get too much wet here. We get more. Oh, that's really grungy, isn't it? I love it. Okay, so throw that in my trash. I'm going to get another strip of Saran wrap. Whoever invented this little cutter on this is a genius. How often do you guys get caught in a tug of war with your Saran wrap? So we're going to put that on there. Again, I didn't get it far enough over. I may grab another piece because I don't want to. I'm going to grab another small piece because I missed that top area. So guys, I thank you for coming and hanging out with me. I hope that you'll enjoy the process and give it a try. And again, I'm going to let these fully dry and then I'll come back and we will do the next segment. So I will be back in a bit. Okay, friends, these are now dry, or mostly dry enough to take the Saran wrap off. I actually set them outside on my table and I just held them down with heavy objects. This one was on the bottom and the Saran wrap actually pulled up kind of prematurely, but it still looks absolutely spectacular. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that scrumptious Visual. This is called visual texture. Visual interest. Absolutely amazing. So let's go ahead and take off the tape as well here. And so when you're doing that, you just want to pull the tape away from you if you can manage that. Sometimes it still will tear the paper, but less chance when you pull it away. Oh, we're getting some tear there. There we go. We'll do this with each of them, and then we will be done for this video. I hope that you're inspired to try it. I was just thinking as I was looking at the impression on this, that I wonder what it would look like if you were to bring in some botanical things like some leaves or some textured stuff and put it, under your Saran wrap on top of your wet medium, and what that would do. Because that is just amazing. So I won't be cutting this up or anything because it's not wet per se, but it is definitely cool to the touch. So we don't want to be cutting into that. So let me just get rid of this one. This was a great way to do it. Just pieces of the kitchen wrap, or freezer paper rather. So let's go ahead and take this one off. This one stayed on a little bit better. Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh, this is so amazing. I'm going to go ahead and take the tape off just so that we can hold it up. Right away and look at it together. That's all right. That's all right. We definitely need to be more careful though. Do as I say, not as I do. There we go. It's really sticky tape. It was a new roll of painter's tape, so that might be why it's ripping that paper a little bit. There we go. But anyway, as I mentioned, I would encourage you to try it with any kind of mediums. Like, the sky's the limit. Look at that. Look at this texture up in here. And when you look really close, you can see kind of the texture that's created not only from the product, but also from the Saran wrap. Isn't that amazing? And I love the yellow that came out in this. The camera is not doing it justice. The yellow on the camera is looking kind of beige. It is very, very yellow. So I'm hoping that the photos that I put at the end will capture that a little bit better, so you guys can know that. And then this was our really, really grungy paper. So I was unsure about how I felt about this because it's so dark. So let's just see. Oh my goodness, look at this. Oh, delicious. Look at that. Let's take this tape off. So just for time's sake, it's only been about 3 hours. It dried much faster because, again, I did put it out on the table, not out in the weather. We have a covered deck, so I just put it out on our patio table, just so that it could get kind of an all over warm dry. So wrestling with this paper though, it seems. Oh, this is so fun. I am so glad we did this. But you can use any medium, like I mentioned before. Try any medium that you have. Like you don't have to go out and get what I used. You can use what you have. I'm anxious to try it with some acrylic sprays, some distress inks and things like that, archival inks even, that kind of thing, as well as I'll probably do another bit with watercolor. That's my usual go-to. But look at that. Look at that delicious grunge. It's just stunning. I thought this one was going to be really, really dark. And in this case, the camera is actually favoring the color because it's showing very true to color here and here. That's what it looks like in real life. And then, but up in here, I'm seeing a much brighter green, and it's pretty dulled out here, but look at that. So amazing. Okay, guys, so that is it. I hope that you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.